It was pretty interesting because I think prior to Captain going off, Sesame Street had problems with my schedule because I was doing Captain Kangaroo, I was doing Great Space Coaster too, and they actually said they really couldn't use my services anymore because my scheduling just wouldn't permit it, and that was the main one I wanted to do. Um, so I started doing Captain Kangaroo and the Great Space Coaster, and then Captain Kangaroo was canceled. And each time it made it easier, but I was like, okay, now what's going to happen? I have one left. And then actually the Great Space Coaster, the producers decided to stop doing Great Space Coaster because they really wanted to get into doing utilizing Hasbro toys into like half an hour series. So they did Transformers and they did My Little Pony back then, and glowworms and all of this stuff, and that's what they really wanted. That this Great Space Coaster was really a vehicle to show the bigwigs at Hasbro that they could do this, and so they did, and they didn't really need to do Great Space Coaster anymore. So I didn't know what was happening, I didn't really know what was going to happen. But what was really nice is Jane Henson called me back up and said, would I like to do workshops with her, looking for new puppeteers. And I said, cool, I'll do that. And then she asked me, are you still interested in doing Sesame? And I said, yeah. Through doing those 3 shows, I had to turn down movies with Jim Henson. I turned down Dark Crystal because I couldn't do it because of my commitment to the series. I just thought, I actually went to Kermit and talked to him about it and got advice from him. He said, listen, you can't turn down a series for a movie, even if you want to really do it. I know you do. So he gave me really good advice, and I didn't do that. And I think there was actually another movie, Muppets Take Manhattan, that I really couldn't do because of the show. But now I was available. So Jane asked me was I interested. I said sure. So I took a meeting with Dulcie Singer, who was executive producer at the time, and Lisa Simon, I think, who was the producer at the time. And I went right back into doing Sesame Street. They knew what I could do because I had already done the show. And the thing is, what you do is you come in and they try to come up with, characters for you to do, and it took a while. I mean, major misses. I went through some embarrassing characters. Professor D. Rabbit, that was like this. What was happening is, since the head writer and the writers didn't really know that, the stuff that I did when I was doing the show was just AMs and, singing. I didn't have any
What are
regular
AMs?
characters. AMs are anything Muppets. Jim created these shapes a long time ago. We called it an orange pumpkin, and it just, it had an oval shape and a mouth down the bottom, and then there was a lavender that really didn't have any features, no noses, just all kind of, blank, naked body, nothing. And what you could do is you could make it a mailman, a female mailman, a mailman. You could sometimes even make it a monster by just putting fur on it. And so it was great in doing that because, it was cheaper than constantly building, puppets. So he had this rainbow of all these anything Muppets that could, you could make into anything. And so that's what I was really doing, when I first started doing Sesame. So there wasn't any principal or main characters. There was nothing that came out of that they could write for at that point.